Hi guys, Cornell's back. Today I'm going to read Exodus 21 to 25, Psalm 73, and Proverbs 16. Let's get started. Exodus 21 to 25. Here are the laws you must explain to the people of Israel. Suppose you buy a Hebrew servant. He must serve you for 6 years, but in the 7th year you must set him free. He does not have to pay anything. If he does not have a wife when he comes, he must go free alone. But if he has a wife when he comes, she must go with him. Suppose his master gives him a wife, and suppose she is sons or daughters by him. Then only the man will go free. The woman and her children will belong to her master. But suppose the servant says, I love my master and my wife and children. I don't want to go free. Then his master must take him to the judges. His master must take him to the door or doorpost of his master's house. His master must poke a hole through his servant's earlobe into the door or doorpost. Then he will become his servant for life. Suppose a man sells his daughter as a servant. Then she can't go free as male servants do. But what if the master who has chosen her does not like her? Then he must let the man to buy her back. He has no right to sell her to strangers. He has broken his promise to her. What if he chooses her to marry his son? Then he must grant her the rights of a daughter. What if her master marries another woman? He must still give the first one her food and clothes and sleep with her. If he does not provide her with those 3 things, she can go free. She does not have to pay anything. Anyone who hits and kills someone else must be put to death. Suppose they did not do it on purpose. Suppose I let it happen. Then they can escape to a place I will choose. But suppose they kill someone on purpose. Then take them away from my avatar and put them to death. Anyone who attacks their father or mother must be put to death. Anyone who kidnaps and sells another person must be put to death. If they still have the person with them when they are caught, they must be put to death. Anyone who asks for something bad to happen to their father or mother must be put to death. Suppose 2 people get into a fight and argue with each other. One hits the other with a stone or a fist, and the person who was hit does not die but has to stay in bed. And later that person gets up and walks around outside with a walking stick. Then the person who hit the other person will not be held responsible. But that person must pay the one who was hurt for the time spent in bed. The one who hit the other person must be sure that the person is completely healed. Suppose a person beats their male or female slave to death with a club. That person must be punished. But they will not be punished if the slave gets up after a day or 2. After all, the slave is their property. Suppose some people are fighting and one of them hits a pregnant woman. And suppose she has her baby early but is not badly hurt. Then the one who hurt her must pay a fine. That person must pay what the woman's husband asked for and the court allows. But if someone is badly hurt, a life must be taken for a life. An eye must be put out for an eye. A tooth must be knocked out for a tooth. A hand must be cut off for a hand and for a foot. A burn must be given for a burn, a wound for a wound, and a bruise for a bruise. Suppose an owner hits a male or female slave in the eye and destroys it. Then the owner must let the slave go free and pay for the eye. Suppose an owner knocks out the tooth of a male and female slave. Then he must let the slave go free to pay for the tooth. Suppose a bull kills a man or woman with its horns. Then he must kill the bull by throwing stones at it. Its meat must not be eaten. But the owner of the bull will not be held accountable. But suppose the bull had the habit of attacking people. And suppose the owner had been warned but has not kept it fenced in. Then if it kills a man or woman, you must kill it with stones. The owner must also be put to death. But suppose payment is required of him instead. Then the owner can save his life by paying what is required. The same law applies if the bull wounds a son or daughter with its horns. Suppose the daughter wounds a male or female slave. Then the owner must pay the slave's master about 12 ounces of silver. You must kill the bull with stones. Suppose someone uncovers a pit or digs one and does not cover it. And suppose an ox or donkey falls into it. Then the person who opened the pit must pay for the animal's owner for the loss. The dead animal will belong to the person who opened the pit. Suppose someone wounds a neighbor's bull and it dies. Then the owner and the neighbor must sell the live one, and they must share the money and the dead animal equally. But suppose people knew that the bull had the habit of attacking, and suppose the owner did not keep a fenced in. Then the owner must give another animal to pay for the dead animal, and the dead animal will belong to the owner. Chapter 22. Suppose someone steals an ox or a sheep, and suppose that person kills it or sells it. Then the thief must pay back 5 oxen for the ox, or the thief must pay back 4 sheep for the sheep. Suppose you catch a thief breaking into your house at night, and suppose you hit the thief and the thief dies. Then you are not guilty of murder. But suppose it happened after the sun has come up. Then you are guilty of murder. Anyone who steals must pay for whatever they steal. But suppose the thief does not have anything. Then the thief must be sold to pay for what was stolen. What if the stolen ox, donkey, or sheep is found alive with the thief? Then the thief must pay back twice as much. So suppose someone lets their livestock eat grass in someone else's field or vineyard. Then they must pay that person back from the best crops of their own field or vineyard. Suppose a fire breaks out and spreads into bushes. Suppose it burns, cut and stack the grain or grain that is still growing. Or suppose it burns the whole field. Then the one who started the fire must pay for the loss. Suppose someone gives a neighbor silver or other things to keep safe. And suppose they are stolen from the neighbor's house. The thief, if caught, must pay back twice as much as it was stolen. But suppose the thief is not found. Then the neighbor must go to the judges. They will decide whether the neighbor has stolen the other person's property. Suppose you have an ox, donkey, sheep, or clothing that does not belong to you. Or you have other property lost by someone else. And suppose someone says, "That belongs to me." Then both people must bring their case to the judges. The one the judges decide is guilty must pay back twice as much to the other person. Suppose someone asks their neighbor to take care of a donkey, ox, sheep, or any other animal. And suppose the animal dies or gets hurt. Or suppose it is stolen while no one is looking. Then the problem will be settled by promising the Lord to tell the truth. Suppose the neighbor says, "I didn't steal your property." Then the owner must accept what the neighbor says. No payment is required. But suppose the animal really was stolen. Then the neighbor must pay the owner back. Or suppose it was torn to pieces by a wild animal. Then the neighbor must bring what is left as proof. No payment is required. Suppose someone borrows an animal from their neighbor, and it gets hurt or dies while the owner is not there. Then the borrower must pay for it. But suppose the owner is with the animal. Then the borrower will not have to pay. If the borrower hired the animal, the money paid to hire it covers the loss. Suppose a man meets with a virgin who is not engaged, and he talks her into having sex with him. Then he must pay her father the price for a bride, and he must marry her. But suppose her father absolutely refuses to give her to him. Then he must still pay the price for getting married to a virgin. Do not let a woman who does evil magic stay alive. Put her to death. Anyone who has sex with an animal must be put to death. Anyone who sacrifices to any god other than the Lord must be destroyed. Do not treat outsiders badly. Do not give them a hard time. Remember, you were outsiders in Egypt. Do not take advantage of widows. Do not take advantage of children whose fathers have died. If you do, you might cry out to me. I will certainly hear them, and I will get angry. I will kill you with the sword. Your wives will become widows. Your children's fathers will die. Suppose you lend money to one of my people among you who is in need. Then do not treat it like a business deal. Do not charge any interest at all. Suppose your neighbor owes you any money and gives you a coat as a promise to pay it back. Then return it by sunset. That coat is the only thing your neighbor owns to wear or sleep in. When they cry out to me, I will listen, because I am loving and kind. Do not speak evil things against God. Do not curse the ruler of your people. Do not keep for yourself your grain offerings or wine offerings. You must give me the oldest of your sons. Do the same with your cattle and sheep. Let them stay with their mothers for 7 days, but give them to me on the 8th day. I want you to be my holy people, so do not eat the meat of any animal that has been torn by wild animals. Throw it to the dogs. Chapter 23. Do not spread reports that are false. Do not help a guilty person by telling lies in court. Do not follow the crowd when they do what is wrong. When you are a witness in court, do not turn what is right into what is wrong. Do not go along with the crowd. Do not show favor to a poor person in court. Suppose you come across your enemy's ox or donkey wandering away. Then be sure to return it. Suppose you see that the donkey of someone who hates you has fallen down under its load. Then do not leave it there. Be sure you help them with it. Be fair to your poor people in their court cases. Do not have anything to do with a false charge. Do not put to death people not guilty of doing anything wrong. I will not let guilty people go free. Do not take money from people who want special favors. It makes you blind to the truth. It twists the words of good people. Do not treat others badly. You yourselves know how it feels to be outsiders. Remember, you are outsiders in Egypt. For 6 years plant your fields and gather your crops. But during the 7th year, do not plow your land or use it. Then the poor people among you can get food from it. The wild animals can eat what is left over. Do the same thing with your vineyards and your groves of olive trees. Do all your work in 6 days, but do not do any work on the 7th day. Then your oxen and your donkeys can rest. The slaves born in your house can be renewed, and so can the outsiders who live among you. Be careful to do everything I have said to you. Do not speak the names of other gods. Do not even let them be heard on your lips. 3 times a year you must celebrate a feast in my honor. Celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread. For 7 days eat bread made without yeast, just as I commanded you. Do it at the appointed time in the month of Aviv. You came out of Egypt in that month. You must not come to worship me with your hands empty. Celebrate the Feast of Weeks. Bring your first share of your crops from your fields. Celebrate the Feast of Booths. Hold it in the fall when you gather in your crops from the fields. 3 times a year all your men must come to worship me. I am your Lord and King. Do not include anything made with yeast when you offer me the blood of a sacrifice. Suppose the fat from sacrifices is left over from my feasts. Then do not keep it until morning. Bring the best of the first share of your crops to my house. I am the Lord your God. Do not cook young goat in its mother's milk. I am sending an angel ahead of you. He will guide you along the way. He will bring you to the place I have prepared. Pay attention to him. Listen to what he says. Do not refuse to obey him. He will not forgive you if you turn against him. He is my full authority. Listen carefully to what he says. Do everything I say. Then I will be an enemy to your enemies. I will fight against those who fight against you. My angel will go ahead of you. He will bring you into the land of the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Canaanites, Hivites, and Jebusites. I will wipe them out. Do not do what they do. Do not bow down to their gods or worship them. You must destroy the statues of their gods. You must break their sacred stones to pieces. Worship the Lord your God. Then he will bless your food and water. I, the Lord, will take away any sickness you may have. In your land, no woman will give birth to a dead baby. Every woman will be able to have children. I will give you a long life. I will send my terror ahead of you. I will throw every nation you meet into a panic. I will make all your enemies turn their backs and run away. I will send hornets ahead of you. They will drive the Hivites, Canaanites, Hittites out of your way. But I will not drive them out in just 1 year. If I did, the land would be deserted. There would be too many wild animals for you. I will drive them out ahead of you little by little. I will do that until there are enough of you to take control of the land. I will make your borders secure from the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea. They will go from the desert to the Euphrates River. I will hand over to you the people who live in the land. You will drive them out to make room for yourselves. Do not make a covenant with them or with their gods. Do not let them live in your land. If you do, they will cause you to sin against me. If you worship their gods, they will certainly be a trap for you. Chapter 24. The Lord said to Moses, You and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel must come to worship the Lord. Do not come close when you worship. Only Moses can come close to me. The others must not come near, and the people may not go up with him. Moses went and told the people all the Lord's words and laws. They answered with one voice. They said, We will do everything the Lord has told us to do. Then Moses wrote down everything the Lord had said. Moses got up early the next morning. He built an altar at the foot of the mountain. He set up 12 stone pillars. They stood for the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he sent young Israelite men to sacrifice burnt offerings. They also sacrificed young bulls as friendship offerings to the Lord. Moses put half of the blood in bowls. He splashed the other half against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it to the people. They answered, We will do everything the Lord has told us to do. We will obey him. Then Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people. He said, This is the blood that puts the covenant into effect. The Lord has made this covenant with you in keeping with all these words. Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel went up. They saw the God of Israel. Under his feet was something like a street made out of lapis lazuli. It was as bright blue as the sky itself. But God didn't destroy those Israelite leaders when they saw him. They ate and drank. The Lord said to Moses, Come up to me on the mountain. Stay here. I will give you the stone tablets. They contain the 1 commandments I have written to teach the people. Then Moses and Joshua, his helper, started out. Moses went up on the mountain of God. He said to the elders, Wait for us here until we come back to you. Aaron and Hur are with you. Anyone who has a problem can go to them. Moses went up on the mountain. Then the cloud covered it. The glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai. The cloud covered the mountain for 6 days. On the 7th day, the Lord called out to Moses from inside the cloud. The people of Israel saw the glory of the Lord. It looked like a fire burning on top of the mountain. Moses entered the cloud as he went on up the mountain. He stayed on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. Chapter 25. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel to bring me an offering. You must receive the offering for me from everyone whose hearts move them to give. Here are the offerings you must receive from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and bright red yarn and fine linen, goat hair, ram skins that are dyed red, another kind of strong leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the lights, spices for the anointing oil and for the sweet-smelling incense, onyx stones and other jewels for the linen apron and chest cloth. Have them make a sacred tent for me. I will live among them. Make the holy tent and everything that belongs to it. Make them exactly like the pattern that I will show you. Have them make an ark out of acacia wood. It must be a chest 3 feet 9 inches long and 2 feet 3 inches wide and high. Cover it inside and outside with pure gold. Put a strip of gold around it. Make 4 gold rings for it. Join them to its 4 bottom corners. Put 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other. Then make poles out of acacia wood. Cover them with gold. Put the poles through the rings on the sides of the ark to carry it. The poles must remain in the rings of the ark. Do not remove them. I will give you the tablets of the covenant law. When I do, put them into the ark. Make its cover out of pure gold. The cover is the place where sin will be paid for. Make it 3 feet 9 inches long and 2 feet 3 inches wide. Make 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. Put one of the cherubim on each end of it. Make the cherubim part of the cover itself. They must have their wings spread up over the cover. The cherubim must face each other and look toward the cover. Place the cover on top of the ark. I'll give you the tablets of the covenant law. Put them in the ark. The ark is where the tablets of the covenant law are kept. I'll meet with you above the cover between the 2 cherubim that are over the ark. There I'll give you all my commands for the Israelites. Make a table out of acacia wood. Make it 3 feet long, 1 foot 6 inches wide, and 2 feet 3 inches high. Cover it with pure gold. Put a strip of gold around it. Also make a rim around it 3 inches wide. Put a strip of gold around the rim. Make 4 gold rings for the table. Join them to the 4 corners, where the 4 legs are. The rings must be close to the rim. They must hold the poles that will be used to carry the table. Make the poles out of acacia wood. Cover them with gold. Use them to carry the table. Make its plates and dishes out of pure gold. Also make its pitchers and bowls out of pure gold. Use the pitchers and bowls to pour out drink offerings. Put the holy bread on the table. It must be near my holy throne on the ark of the covenant law at all times. Make a lampstand out of pure gold. Hammer out its base and stem. Its buds, blossoms, and cups must branch out from it. They must be part of the lampstand itself. 6 branches must come out from the sides of the lampstand. Make 3 on one side and 3 on the other. On one branch make 3 cups that are shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. Then put 3 on the next branch. Do the same with all 6 branches that come out from the lampstand. On the lampstand there must be 4 cups that are shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. One bud must be under the first pair of branches that come out from the lampstand. Put a second bud under the second pair, and put a third bud under the third pair. Make a total of 6 branches. The buds and branches must come out from the lampstand. The whole lampstand must be one piece hammered out of pure gold. Then make it 7 lamps. Set them up on it so that they light the space in front of it. The trays and wick cutters must be made out of pure gold. Use 75 pounds of pure gold to make the lampstand and everything used in it. Be sure to make everything just like the pattern I showed you on the mountain. Proverb 16. People make plans in their hearts, but the Lord puts the correct answer on their tongues. Everything a person does might seem pure to them, but the Lord knows why they do what they do. Commit to the Lord everything you do. Then He will make your plans succeed. The Lord works everything out to the proper end. Even those who do wrong were made for a day of trouble. The Lord hates all those who have proud hearts. You can be sure that they will be punished. Through love and truth, sin is paid for. People avoid evil when they have respect for the Lord. When the way you live pleases the Lord, He makes even your enemies live at peace with you. It is better to have a little and do right than to have a lot and be unfair. In their hearts, human beings plan their lives, but the Lord decides where their steps will take them. A king speaks as if his words come from God, and what he says does not turn right into wrong. All scales and balances belong to the Lord. He made all the weight in the bag. A king hates it when his people do what is wrong. A ruler is made secure when they do what is right. Kings are pleased when what you say is honest. They value people who speak what is right. An angry king can order your death, but a wise person will try to calm him down. When a king's face is happy, it means life. His favor is like rain in the spring. It is much better to get wisdom than gold. It is much better to choose understanding than silver. The path of honest people takes them away from evil. Those who guard their ways guard their lives. If you are proud, you will be destroyed. If you are proud, you'll fall. Suppose you are lonely in spirit along with those who are treated badly. That's better than sharing stolen goods with those who are proud. If anyone pays attention to what they're taught, they will succeed. Blessed is the person who trusts in the Lord. Wise hearts are known for understanding what is right. Kind words make people want to learn more. Understanding is like a fountain of life to those who have it. But foolish people are punished for the foolish things they do. The hearts of wise people guard their mouths. Their words make people want to learn more. Kind words are like honey. They are sweet to the spirit and bring healing to the body. There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death. The hunger of workers makes them work. Their hunger drives them on. A worthless person plans to do evil things. Their words are like a burning fire. A twisted person stirs up conflict. Anyone who talks about others separates close friends. A person who wants to hurt others tries to get them to sin. That person leads them down a path that isn't good. Whoever winks with their eyes planning to do wrong. Whoever closes their lips tightly is up to no good. Grey hair is a glorious crown. You get it by living the right way. It is better to be patient than to fight. It is better to control your temper than to take a city. Lots are cast into the lap to make decisions, but everything they decide comes from the Lord. Psalm 73. God is truly good to Israel. He's good to those who have pure hearts. But my feet had almost slipped. I had almost tripped and fallen. I saw that proud and sinful people were doing well, and I had begun to long for what they had. They don't have any troubles. Their bodies are healthy and strong. They don't have the problems most people have. They don't suffer as other people do. Their pride is like a necklace. They put on meanness as if it were their clothes. Many sins come out of their hard and stubborn hearts. There is no limit to the evil things they can think up. They laugh at others and speak words of hatred. They are proud. They warn others about the harm they can do to them. They brag as if they owned heaven itself. They talk as if they controlled the earth. So people listen to them. They lap up their words like water. They say, how would God know what we're doing? Does the Most High God know anything? Here's what sinful people are like. They don't have a care in the world. They keep getting richer and richer. It seems as if I have kept my heart pure for no reason. It didn't do me any good to wash my hands to show that I wasn't guilty of doing anything wrong. Day after day I've been in pain. God has punished punish me in a new way every morning. What if I had talked like that? Then I wouldn't have been faithful to God's children. I tried to understand it all, but it was more than I could handle. It troubled me until I entered God's temple. Then I understood what will finally happen to bad people. God, I'm sure you will make them slip and fall. You will throw them down and destroy them. It will happen very suddenly. A terrible death will take them away completely. A dream goes away when a person wakes up. Lord, it will be like that when you rise up. It will be as if those people were only a dream. At one time my heart was sad and my spirit was bitter. I didn't have any sense. I didn't know anything. I acted like a wild animal toward you. But I am always with you. You hold me by my right hand. You give me wise advice to guide me. And when I die, you will take me away into the glory of heaven. I don't have anyone in heaven but you. I don't want anything on earth besides you. My body and my heart may grow weak. God, you give strength to my heart. You are everything I will ever need. Those who don't want anything to do with you will die. You destroy all those who are unfaithful to you. But I am close to you, and that's good. Lord and King, I have made you my place of safety. I'll talk about everything you have done. Now that's done, I shall now sing the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as you also forgiven our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.